One of the best vintage Star Wars playsets was not licensed by Lucasfilm or made by Kenner. Who was it made by? You and your mom. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, that Junkman, coming back to make another video for you to talk Star Wars. First up, before we get started, let me just explain why the site has changed. I know we used to be Star Wars Junk. Now it's that Junkman. Why? Well, if I was limiting myself being Star Wars Junk, because we don't always talk Star Wars here. And I didn't want people not to click the channel thinking, oh, this guy just talks Star Wars, because we talk a lot of other things. Don't worry, just because the name changed, the content's not going to change. As always, about 95% of the time, we talk Star Wars, but I just wanted to open it up in case I did want to talk about other things also, like I have been doing. Now, before we get started, as always, if you want to support this channel, head over to patreon.com to support this channel, or go to thatjunkman.com, where we just released 2 new shirts. Hopefully you'll understand where both of these references come from. We've got this one here. Any child in the 80s knows what that is. And then we have this one over here. I'm sure growing up in the 80s, you know what this one is also. And you can get it on a mug. Enough wasting your time. Let's talk about one of the best play sets for your Star Wars action figures. And sadly, I never had this. Don't know anyone else that had it either. So when I say it's the best, it's just what I think might be the best, because it looks like a whole lot of damn fun. But I never had this, and chances are I bet you never had it either. But if you did, let me know. And it was not licensed by Lucasfilm. It's not technically a Star Wars playset. But you know, we're all going to play Star Wars with it. But before we get into what it is, let's talk about the playsets for Star Wars Kenner. I'll be honest with you, unless you're talking about the Death Star, Kenner really didn't make any great playsets. Most of them was kind of boring, let's be honest. A lot of them was just there to stand your figures on. They didn't have a lot of play value, except maybe a few little levers and tricks and ice bridges here and there. Don't get me wrong, they were fun, but most of them wasn't as fun as you know who. So what option do kids really have to play with Star Wars other than playing on the bed, on the floor, outside in the dirt, or with their small playset? Well, if you had a very cool mother and she read Mother's Day, then you could have one of the best playsets ever. And the best of all, it was made by you and your mom. It was a project you could do together. Well, I'm leaving the dads out, but from reading the instructions, you're probably going to need your dad too. Hell, you're probably going to need your whole family and maybe some cousins and uncles. But being that this showed up in Mother's Day magazine, I'm including the mothers. So let's go back to November 25th, 1978, where Mother's Day magazine teased the unofficial Star Wars playset called the Outer Space Station. Of course, they never called this a Star Wars playset, just that it's a playset for your action figures. They never say Star Wars action figures, although in the pictures they do show Star Wars figures playing on it. And sure, they called it the Outer Space Station. I keep putting an extra space in there. I don't know why. The Outer Space Station. Outer space. That's kind of hard to say. Anyway, is it a space station? Well, I really think of it more as a groovy 70s style mall with that true 70s, this is what the future is going to look like feel. So what did you and your mother need to make this awesome playset? Just stuff you'll find around the house, like a table saw, a jigsaw, a drill, nails, a hammer, screwdrivers, a C-clamp, a T-square, white wood glue, sandpaper, carpenter tri-square, ruler, pencil, paper, tapes, wooden putty, latex paint. There's a lot more, but we'll stop there. You know, just average stuff you need around your house. Altogether, there were 7 playsets to build. But what made this fun is when you hooked them all together, that's when you really had something awesome. Before I show you what it all looks like put together, let's look at some of the little small sets. I call this one the Coca-Cola Zipline. This playset was 3 fours, not much to it, just a tower with an elevator. But the best part, it came with a zip line with this capsule made out of a 2-liter soda bottle, Pepsi bottle, Mountain Dew bottle, whatever kind of bottle you wanted, even BK. It didn't really matter, you get the idea, a plastic bottle hooked onto this zip line where the figures could go speeding down the top of the tower to the ground below. I guess they could go also up it. but it would be more fun to sit them down. It looks pretty cool, but I guarantee if I made this with my mother, it wouldn't look anything like it does in the photo. Let's go on to the next. I call this Stairway to Nowhere, because that's all it is, a little square box with a bunch of stairways. It really doesn't go anywhere. Not only does it have a staircase, it also has a walkway. I know what you're thinking. Junkman, this doesn't sound fun at all. But I didn't tell you, it does have a place for your figures to hide and wait to ambush the rebels. Now we're talking fun. On one of the other playsets, another square. But this one had little steps where Han Solo could climb to the top and raise both of his arms in victory. Also looks like he has a little dog. Not sure what that is. Let's be honest, this is probably not the best one of the little set. One of the taller parts is more fun. And I love that they used a capeless Vader for the photo. Not sure why Vader took his cape off. I guess he was relaxing. And also, look closely. They used 7 Jawas. Do you notice anything about these Jawas? All 7 have a vinyl cape. The rare vinyl cape Jawa. What does this mean? They sent some intern down to the toy store who bought all the Jawas he could. And they are all vinyl cape Jawas. One of those is worth over $1,000 today. So this intern bought these 7 Jawas, took them back, ripped open the package, threw them away. Anyway, let's go on to the next playset. This is the one I call the Brain Center. These names I kind of made up myself, so don't go Googling Brain Center. To me, it looks like some kind of database or control center. I guess it's the heart and soul of the playset. For some reason, Mother's Day magazine didn't put Star Wars figures with this playset. They put Micronauts, and one of them's riding a cool chopper. And now let's talk about the best of the small playsets, the centerpiece of the set. I call it the Outer Space Food Court. It's a 2-story groovy playset for sure, with not only an elevator, but a staircase, which I like to say is an escalator. On the second floor, you find 2 glass rooms. I guess this is the smoker's lounge for the mall. Some reason Princess Leia is laying on the floor. I don't know if she's passed out from all the smoke in the smoker's lounge, or maybe she's just taking a nap in her cape. Now I know you're probably still saying it. Junkman, that looks cool, but they're little small playsets. They don't look fun. They don't look like anything special to me. I'd much rather have my Cantina playset or my Land of Jawas. But you're only saying that because you have not seen this thing put together yet. So let's take a look at the final playset all put together. Wow! I mean, look at this thing. It's massive. What I wouldn't have done, if my friend next door had this thing, I would have been at his house all day and all night. Now, I've never seen this thing in person, only in photos, but man, it looks amazing. See those small, boring playsets, put them together, you get one big, cool mall. Like the small square playset that looked kind of boring is now an X-Wing landing pad. And there's more than meets the eye here. The playset also have working trick stairs, a rocket that takes off, and a human catapult. Mom, why didn't you read Mother's Day magazine? So how did mothers out there build this thing for their kids? Well, the magazine didn't tell you that. You had to send $1 in cash to get the instructions. And you had to send $1 in cash. As they say in the magazine, do not send a money order or a check. Hey, IRS, you might want to look into this. But you had to send $1 in cash. You get a black and white instruction booklet that shows you how to make this thing. However, if you didn't have $1 and wanted to wait till 1982, you could get the instructions in another book. Woman's Day's book of the best loved toys and dolls that was released in 1982. Make sure if you're looking for this book that you get the 1982 edition, as they did a book every year, but only the 1982 edition has this fake Star Wars playset instructions. They actually have about 30 pages of how to build it and great photos. They even show you how to build a super city for your Miko Superheroes action figures. Sadly, I couldn't find a photo of this on Google. If you see a photo of that, let me know. And don't worry, Empire Strikes Back fans, Mother's Day would return to tell you how to build a fake Hoth playset and a fake Dagobah playset. But we'll save that for another video. I'm going to link in the description below how you can build this yourself. Yep, thanks to the Star Wars Collector's Archive website, I'm going to link the instructions how you can build this thing yourself. So please, If you build it, call me over to come play with it. I want to see this thing in person. As always, thank you for watching. If you want to support this site, as always, patreon.com or thatjunkman.com to buy some cool t-shirts. We'll be back very soon with another video. Click my face down there to subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk very soon.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.